Hi guys, it's Kelly Lynn here, and I am here with a special treat, Sarah Caplan, co-founder of Footsie Rolls. And if you have not gotten a pair, you need to.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So first I want to ask you, so you and your sister started this company, Footsie Rolls, and tell us how you started it and how the idea came. And
Okay, so...
Yeah.
Look at the camera. Okay, so when I was in college, I was wearing really high heels to the point where I was like falling, my feet were hurting, and I couldn't make it through the entire night in my heels. And I used to bring a big handbag out with me at night that you would usually bring during the day.
Yeah.
And I would put an extra pair of shoes in them because all these small clutch bags couldn't fit any shoes.
Yeah.
So I remember telling my sister when I was in college, we really need to make a shoe that rolls up or is small enough to fit into a handbag. And we left it at that. We never talked about it again. I graduated college. I went and worked in corporate America. She went and did her own thing. She's older than me. And one day she picked up the phone when I was at JP Morgan and she said, I think we should do something with your idea. And I was like, okay, go for it. I want nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
So I had my job. She went along and got a factory, got samples made, went to a seamstress. She's the one who really originally created my idea and made it happen. And she called me and she said, let's do something with this. And that's how it happened.
That's amazing because when you go out, even if it's like on the town, I'm in the town, or even to brunch, I know for me, I'm in heels and I'm like, my feet are killing me. So,
I know. It happens all the time when you're dancing at a wedding.
Yeah.
There's so many places where you need to wear heels because you're just not comfortable in flats at the beginning of the night.
Right.
Or the beginning of the day. But then after a few hours in, it's time to put on your flats.
Yeah.
And Footsie Rolls can go anywhere with you.
That's crazy. You just had an idea that serviced a need and then you just created it.
Right. And so my sister really created it. And then once you create a product, there's so much more that goes into it to actually get it on the shelves and actually get people aware and, be able to sell it. So then once she actually had a prototype, I got involved in the company.
That's kind of what goes in, because I know there's a lot of people out there that have a product and they might be struggling, or what were some first things that you guys did?
So one of the first things we did after we had a sample was we went to our first trade show because we didn't know, we knew that people would love this product, but we really needed to see it for ourselves firsthand.
Yeah.
So we went and we got into a sales rep booth at a trade show. We paid about between $500 and $1,000 to actually have a table, which was this small.
Oh my god!
It was tiny, but you know what? Our product was small, so it worked.
Yeah.
Our table was very small, and my sister and I stood on each side of the table with our product that we hand stamped the name Footzyrolls in.
Oh my gosh!
And from the seamstress samples, and we went there, and we had an amazing response. People really understood the concept. It resonated with them, and we got orders. And we got orders for a product that we hadn't found a factory yet for.
Wow.
So it was pretty amazing.
Wow, everything kind of just flowed for you.
It just flowed. I mean, if we had gone to that first trade show and we didn't we didn't sell any, then we probably would be in a different place right now. But because that first trade show was oh my god, people love this product, we have to go for it. Yeah. So
that's amazing. And it, like you said, it's something that women needed and wanted, and you kind of just
exactly.
That's awesome. The next question is, I guess, because there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there, or even women that want to start a business. Is there any tips from people that are starting or maybe in the middle of their business that are kind of stuck and need a little motivation, or is there anything that you can suggest?
There's ups and downs in anything that anybody does, whether they're working in corporate America, they're working, they're trying to get their own product off the ground. So you just have to stay with it. You can't give up. A bad situation could turn into a good situation. And, I just really think that when I go to a meeting and it turns out bad, the next day, because I went to that meeting, something else where I met somebody in the hallway on my way to that meeting, or I met a cab driver, or whatever it is, that can turn into a great opportunity.
Yeah.
So you just can't give up.
Okay.
I mean, we have bad days all the time, and you just have to overcome them and think about what the next step is, put a plan together, and how you're going to get to the goals that you want to get to.
Yeah, that's great. That's great advice. And you're like a major connector, because we were talking before we did this interview, but your whole thing is like networking.
Yes.
And you don't know who's connected to who.
Exactly.
And so tell me a little bit more
so
about that.
I am a very big networker. I mean, I have always had a lot of friends growing up, and I'm not using my friends, but my friends know other people.
Yeah.
And I just meet people. If I'm standing at a bar, people are interested in talking about an experience that you've had by starting your own business, and people are really intrigued by it.
Yeah.
And people are always willing to help you if you ask for help, and sometimes they just offer it on their own.
Yeah.
So being able to have a story to tell is very interesting to a lot of people, and they want to help you, and you never know who you're going to meet when you're talking to someone. You never know who they're going to know, and so every meeting or every opportunity that you have when you're talking to someone, you should turn it into a meeting. You should think of it as a meeting.
That's great advice, because and we're all, what is it, the 6 degrees?
6 degrees of separation. I mean,
Yeah.
we just talked about how many people we know in common, and we have no idea.
I know. It's crazy. So it's just making sure that every meeting is kind of like an opportunity.
Yeah, well, you make every opportunity
a meeting.
into a meeting. Either way.
I screwed that up. But
Yes.
okay, that's awesome advice. Now, there's a lot of buzz around your brands. You're in the media. You've been on countless shows,
Yeah.
TV shows. Celebrities are wearing Footsie Rolls. Beyonce, Kim K. I mean, just to name a few, they're everywhere.
Yes.
So, any advice that you can give to entrepreneurs that have a business that they want to create that buzz or get in the media, or what would be your advice?
Right. Well, my advice, originally when we started, we did hire a PR company.
Okay.
And not everybody has the money to do that, but if you don't have the money to do that, you can do it yourself. You can send your product to magazines.
Okay.
You can send your product to celebrities. And a lot of times, you find out how you can get it. There's organizations that will help you just pay for placement sometimes to be able to try and place your product in the hands of the right people. But once you get some of the celebrity and some of the hype, you really it spirals on its own. And Susan Sarandon one day ordered from my website, and I was looking at the orders, and I was like, oh my god, like
wow.
This was just organic. It just happened. Like she got an order, and things just happen, and it's after you've been around and you've put a lot of time and energy into making the buzz happen, you start to get buzz on your own.
Yeah, that's great.
So
that's great. So making it happen in the beginning, but then it's just gonna
And when you're at trade shows, the press is there. You need to go after them. You need to put your media kits in the press room. You need to follow up with press. Going on LinkedIn, going on Facebook, see who you do know that's connected to someone in the media of some sort, who's a producer that you know or somebody knows, and get in touch with them and see how they can help you. Yeah,
that's great. That's great advice. Okay, now I know you had mentioned you were in corporate America.
Yes.
And I know a lot of, and me personally, I'm still in corporate America. I'm trying to build a business. Not trying, but am.
You are building a business.
I am building a business. And there's a lot of people that either work a part-time or full-time or even a mom, but let's stay on corporate America and jobs. But how or when did you kind of know you needed to exit, or your whole kind of story around that?
So I did Footsie Rolls at the same time as working at JP Morgan for about a year.
Okay.
And I kept giving myself goals, which I would get to that goal. Okay, if we get in Oprah magazine, I'm leaving my job. If we get into Macy's, I'm leaving my job. And I kept coming up with these goals, and I never left.
Yeah.
So then it got to the point where, since I have a business partner who is my sister, she pretty much gave me an ultimatum.
Yeah.
And really said, this is your only opportunity to do this. Now is the time to leave. Yeah. See where we can really take this company. You can always go back to your job. It's better to leave on your terms than the company telling you, I know you're working on something else, you're too overwhelmed, you need to make a decision. You don't want somebody to tell you that where you're working.
Right.
You need to make the decision on your own, and you need to make sure that you're financially able to do it. And I was lucky enough to be able to do it, and if it doesn't work out, there's always another job out there. There's always another corporate job, and there's not always another Footzyrolls company, and there's not always another company that you're starting. You have to give it your all and try it and go for it, and if it doesn't work, there's always another opportunity.
That's great. That's great advice, because it's like, some people can leave or are scared to leave, and
I was scared. I'm still scared.
Yeah, but you just, like you said, it's kind of being that, just doing it, and then
Definitely
taking a
setting
leap.
the goals for yourself, because if
Yeah.
I hadn't reached those goals, then I would have never had that chance to have the opportunity to talk with my sister and say, now's the time to leave.
Yeah.
So it's good that I had those goals, because I could look back and say, well, we did this,
Right.
and we did that, and now it's time to go.
Yeah, right. That's awesome. Okay, any last piece of advice that you would give business owner, someone who wants to develop a product, anything?
Well, I think research is really important. Doing a ton of research of what other companies are out there, what else is available for whatever it is, a product or service that you're trying to offer. Can you be better than what is currently out there? Or if it doesn't exist, how can you educate buyers and educate consumers and whoever else on the product? Because education takes a long time. And I would say don't give up. You have to keep going for it. If you have a bad day, there's always going to be another day that's going to be better.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't be afraid to talk about your product and tell about your product. People might knock you off, but in the end, you'll succeed because it's your idea and you're the one who's giving it your all.
That's great. Awesome. Okay, so tell people how they can find you.
Okay. They can go to Footzyrolls.com, Footzzyrolls.com.
Yeah.
Our Twitter is at Footzyrolls, and we're just Footzyrolls. Well, I don't know what the Facebook thing is. I don't know.
I think it's Footsie Rolls.
It's Footzyrolls.
I'll put it on the.
It's Footsie Rolls Rollable Shoe, I think, or something like that. I don't know what it is.
Okay, thank you, Sarah, so
thank you
much.
so much.
I think everyone's going to get a lot of helpful information. You
Good.
shared a lot of tips, but thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank
And get a pair of Footsie Rolls.
Yes, your feet will thank you.
Exactly. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.